Good morning, everyone. Thank you for tuning in. I'm just getting myself ready to grab my water. And welcome to our tarot party for this morning. Thank you. If you're coming back, of course, I'm so happy to see you again. I'm Catherine. You've reached This is Fish Out of Water Tarot, where we work especially with people that are a little bit shy. And good morning, Anne. And maybe it's a little bit socially awkward, not quite sure how to connect to people. Hi, A. I see two people here already. And so, welcome to some housekeeping. If you have a question, yes, no, maybe so, I've got my cards ready. They're all shuffled. I'm going to draw a card for the collective, and then I'm happy to take your questions. Another beautiful day to be alive, starting off with gratitude. Even though some of the things we're wanting and expecting to come forward in our lives are not here yet, we are still here. We believe that what you think about, you bring about. Isn't that true? What you think about, you bring about. So if you spend a lot of time thinking about your problem and worrying about it, it's not like you bring more problems, but you bring continued focus on what's not working. And we know from Abraham Hicks, you guys know I'm a big Abraham fan, love that teaching so much. Anne is wondering about her connection with an important person in her life. Well, I love to answer that for you, Anne. So let me jot down your name and message about significant person. What's the energy about for today? Okay. And let me spread our cards. And I'm going to draw one just for the collective. What's the theme of our party today? Thank you so much for hitting that thumbs up. Stay connected. That your thumbs up not only means a lot to me personally because I know I feel the connection, but also it helps YouTube help me so that I can get more and more people who are drawn to these messages. So thank you for that. Okay, so for our collective, oh gosh, look at that. Now y'all may not know, let me just lower this a tiny bit just so that I have the right angle on everything. Okay. Um, so here we're looking at the Emperor card, and the Emperor is in charge, right? Look at that sword. It's like there's no effing around with the Emperor. The Emperor is the king of the kings. And when this message comes up, it just is a reminder that as much as we like the law of attraction and we really want to create a better life for ourselves, you would not be watching this if you weren't drawn to the idea of creating your best life possible. So many videos out there supporting how to live your best life. If you're just here for the first time, that's Murphy. But the Emperor today is calling us to be logical in our thinking, to make sure that we're not having an illusion of what's possible for us. A lot of times when the thing you're wanting is not coming forward, it's simply because you think okay, what you think you want is not what you really want. And if that's the truth, then it can make manifesting really frustrating. So the Emperor is here today to remind us not to give up our logic. Now, can we be too logical? Oh, yes, we certainly can. We can be too logical sometimes. Sorry, I just want to slide this Emperor in there. This is a figurine that somebody very special gave to me. And it had a lot of symbolism in the origin of the gift, and it was so many years ago. But I love this image because it helps me understand how much my inner being loves me. I may not feel connected to my inner being sometimes. Those are the bad days when you feel like no one is loving you. It's because you're not connected to your own inner being's love for you. That's why so many people talk about self-concept. But everything that I do is about increasing the amount of self-respect and self-regard that you have, because that's your core vibration. That's what people resonate with, is when you're so sure of your place on the planet that you're here for a reason. So, Anne, let me just check here and see. Whoops. Okay, wondering about your connection with an important person. Okay, just want to make sure. Okay, Anne. Universe, what is it that you have for Anne in connection with her special person? So I'm feeling 3 cards, Anne. So let's draw 3 cards. Welcome to my party. If you're here for the first time, I'm so glad you're here. I'm going to do as many readings as I can in the next hour or so. Okay. Okay, Anne, gosh, you have 2 knights. Okay, I don't know um, what your situation is or who this person is, because sometimes when we're needing to have wisdom about a particular relationship, it can actually be a family member or somebody at work, not necessarily a lover or a true love. So, reading in general, we have a transformation going on. So, something's been happening around your life, Anne, that is shaking things up. You have seen, I like, look at this, you can see all the scaffolding. Hello, Davinia, welcome. You can see all the scaffolding at the top of the tower here of the church, right? The spires. I'm sorry, I just write down a note. And so you can see that there's these workers behind the scenes, workers that you cannot see. So I would say, Anne, that if you've been having doubt that people care, or maybe having doubt that you are being truly guided, this card is showing that you have very strong guidance right now around this person. There are 2 knights here, and knights are messengers. They're loyal, and they bring in promise. Then you have 2 interesting ones here, because one is the Knight of Pentacles, which has to do with money, but also with the reality of working out the relationship. The relationship skills kind of fall into the Pentacles because it's a materialistic angle of your life. And the cups, which is your other knight here, the cups are about emotions. And so it does seem that when it comes to your special person, that there's action. There's a lot of action coming your way. But being that that transformation is right in the center, I would focus on your own heart and what you're really wanting right now when it comes to this relationship. So it's an old fashioned idea, but it really does work. Get out a piece of paper, draw a line right down the center. On the left side, write down what it is that makes a perfect relationship for you. What is it the way you're treated? How do you feel when you're in a healed, whole relationship with this person or this type? And then on the right-hand side, write down a list of what you would call your deal breakers, things that if this happens in a relationship, I don't want to go there. And work on that list for at least 24 hours. Write down your first ideas and then just let the list grow, because clarity is critical for you right now. I believe you can have what you want here. You've got a lot of action going on and you have offers coming in. But there's something about your own self concept when it comes to building this relationship that's in repair. I think you may know what I mean about that, okay? But remember, take care of yourself first, and then you will attract the best of the people you're in relationship with. Sometimes when you're going through a transformation like this, it can feel like you might lose something, or that people around you might treat you in a different way. Yes, Rachel, go ahead and ask your question. I'm happy to put you on the list. And so I feel like there is a great connection for you, Anne, and you're just not quite hearing it. So if you're a meditator or if you like to do yoga, definitely pick up those practices. If you want more guidance, I would love to help you. The contact information's in the description box. And right now I've got a really cool service. It's an email reading, just $10, and you can ask me anything you want for your private reading. So be sure to check out the description box for details on that, Anne, okay? And so now, do we have another question? I know we have some people, Rachel, and there's A that's checked in. And so I would love to answer your question. Yes, no, maybe so. What are my Gemini man's current thoughts and feelings toward me in your relationship? Okay. What is, oh, good, Anne. I'm so glad that, I always say the cards do all the work. And that is true. The cards do all the work for sure. Let's see. Let me put this back. Sorry. And then it's my privilege to get to tell the story that they tell. But and I'm just delighted. So thank you so much. Be sure to hit the thumbs up because it really does help me more than you know. It means a lot to me. So let's go on to our next party guest, which is Rachel, and she has a Gemini. I have a Gemini moon, Rachel. So we have a share. Hi, Rachel. I have a Gemini moon, and I have Gemini in my family. The air sign, I'm a Scorpio. The air signs are not easy for me. They aren't. My son's a Gemini and his wife's an Aquarius, and I have to kind of interpret their actions. I like a language, and say they do love me. I know they love me. This is how they express it. It's just so different than what I'm used to. So, what's your sign, Rachel? And let's see, Gemini, twins, let's go for Capricorn. Now, so Capricorn, I wonder how Capricorn feels about the air signs. I'm not an astrologer, but what I do is I observe the personalities that go with the different signs. And oh, Rachel, biggest hug, biggest hug. Okay, let's pull two cards. Somebody told me, and it's somebody that I respect, is one of Rachel's cards. And here's the other. Um, Somebody I respect said that it's not like a lifelong curse that you don't get along with a certain sign. It's just that there are lessons to be learned there. And I'm really, oh gosh, with a certain family member, I'm getting really, I feel like I'm in graduate school because I'm getting pushed and stretched, but I am really feeling my confidence grow in how I express myself. So hang in there. But the person said once you've healed the issues around that sign, suddenly they no longer bother you. So, Rachel, I stand in the gap for the two of us, okay? Be sure to hit that thumbs up. Let me know you're here. And, oh, very interesting cards for you, Rachel. I don't know if you're familiar with the tarot. I do love this Page of Cups. I love the art of this. Somebody told me recently that that the cups have as much intrinsic value as an ace, because the cycle from ace to 10 in any of the suits is a real journey. It really is. It's a hero's journey just to get through the emotional development from the ace of cups all the way to the 10. So the page following the 10 is a rebirth. In a way, it's like a cocoon opening up, and out comes this little baby butterfly. Now, the pages are messengers, and they also are students. They're ready to learn more. They're proud of themselves. And in this cups, when we look at her, there's so much hope here. Okay, so when we're looking at this, if we're looking at the energy of your Gemini, that this Gemini has a lot of hope and in a way is offering a cup. Now, interestingly, the knights serve the queens in the royal court, and the pages serve the king. And so, what this always indicates to me is that the page, it could be that your Gemini is younger than you, right? I'm nodding. You can't see me, but it could signify that. Um, pages have lessons to learn before they come into their full maturity as the king. And so the pages are kind of assigned to watch the king. In the coronation of King Charles in England, his little grandson was a page, William, and he carried the train on the way in. And so it was not William. I'm sorry, that's the dad. But the little prince carried the train as part of the pages who served the king. And so that energy suggests that this person is a little bit of immaturity going on. And then we have the Seven of Cups. So the Seven of Cups energy is all about choices, juggling. Okay. And look at in the cups, each one has a treasure of some kind. So again, this Gemini's energy seems to be coming across as hopeful, um, playful, could be like teasing, right? Will he ever mature? God love you. I love that you said that. First of all, men in general, men have a slower learning curve with emotions, right? I mean, that's kind of like an old wives' tale, but I'm like an old wife tale person, and I've lived through a lot. And for sure, the patience it takes, especially if you're a conscious woman, if you're a woman who believes that your thoughts bring about, I love that saying, what you think about, you bring about, right? So if you're always thinking about that, if you're thinking about how much you want this person to change, that's a whole different energy than sending, I accept you no matter what energy, right? It's opposite. Okay. So if you're radiating, I wish you would change energy, that is causing part of this problem. Okay. Because you are not sure yourself. So if you were here for the first advice with Anne, where we talked about writing a list, what I would say for you is to write a list of all of the annoying parts of this person to you. And just be really honest. It's just between you and you, right? But write down the behaviors that are really difficult for you. So now, here's your net. Wait, don't ask. So, how do you make him change in a positive way? Um, can you? Could anybody change you? If you had a hummingbird is just feeding outside the reading here, I'm just going to tip this up. Can you see him? Oh, okay. So what that means to me, Rachel, my darling, is I'm sorry. Oh, I want you to go to the Google after this reading. Don't leave early, and then Google the spiritual meaning of hummingbird. Okay, I always take that to heart when an animal shows up during a reading. But the main thing is there's a man on YouTube called the Astrology Guy. Okay. And so here's your homework. So first you write down the list of his most annoying or the person's most annoying habits. Okay. And after you write them down, I hate when they do this. I hate when they do that. Just be honest. It's just you and you. And then go to Astrology Guy and watch his video that says how to date a Gemini. No kidding. And you are going to howl with laughter, howl, because he will show it like it is. And then you, for your own second homework, you look up how to date a Capricorn, because this man is brilliant. He tells the truth and gets you encouraged, but then he also tells you what are the shadowy parts of your personality? Why would you be hard to date? Okay, so you need to do that first. We can't really change anyone, but when you learn to adapt yourself and become more fully your full Capricorn, gorgeous self, you're going to radiate such confidence that you'll draw either his better behavior, your partner's best side by your authenticity, or maybe this is not a person for forever. Some relationships have a shelf life. Okay, but this does show an immature energy and somebody who's really has so many choices they don't know what to do. So if you, once you do your homework, remember what it is, quick review first. And this is true for all y'all. If you're watching and listening, if there's somebody that's annoying you right now, write down a list of every behavior that annoys you. Then go to Astrology Guy on YouTube and watch the how to date blank, whatever their sign is. And then it's going to be an education because quite frankly, every sign in the zodiac has a positive side and a negative side. And if you have a little bit too much defensiveness in your relationship, nobody acts in their best, in their best with their best heart and mind. And I'm sorry, but I just kind of got interrupted by a train of thought. Abraham Hicks. Rachel, are you an Abraham Hicks fan? Abraham Hicks, I love, love, love. You guys who follow me, you know I listen to an Abraham video. They're only 10 to 15 minutes long every day because I just like how she talks and I like how she reminds you how to stay focused. Okay, Rachel, you got to look up, just look up Abraham Hicks on YouTube about soulmates. Okay, and what, because they're famous for saying, oh, Neville, love Neville, right, 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 me too, love them. But Esther will say, um, when somebody says to her, well, won't I be so pleased and won't my life be perfect when my partner's treating me spectacular? And she said, for a minute, but the reality is nobody's on this planet to make us have well-being. It's not your partner's business to put you in the vortex. We put ourselves into the vortex. We put ourselves, and that's through the art of allowing, right? So if you find yourself in a negative relationship or quote unquote a toxic person, it who knows why that's going on. But the reality is, if you are aware of Neville and of Abraham Hicks, you need to find your way back to the vortex. Okay, readings are helpful. I do this work. I help connect people to the vortex because that's what readings do. And I use tapping, the EFT, which helps people say, oh, yeah, there's the vortex over there. Why am I over here? Okay. If you get it, you either believe or you don't. You don't have to because there's so many different ideas. But if you want somebody to hold your feet to the fire and say, hang on for a second, if you really want to manifest the best partner for yourself, that means you have to be your best version of yourself too. Okay. So Rachel, questions, comments, you can reach me by email, tarotinfoplease@gmail.com. I love when people are reaching out to me. Thank you to Graham and A is for Apple last week for reaching out. I loved hearing from you. So thank you for hitting the thumbs up. Thank you for subscribing, of course. And anybody else have a question for me? Yes, no, or maybe so. What do you are welcome, Rachel. Thank you so much. Reach out. I'd love to hear from you. Okay. Anybody else with a question for me this morning? Yes, no, or maybe so. Could be about anything. And meanwhile, I can just show you Bella. Say good morning to everybody, Bella. Oh, hi, Yadi. How are you? Will Alvaro and I reconcile? Okay. Okay. Um, okay. Okay. Okay, Yadi. Let's see. Okay, I'm feeling like two cards for Yadi. Is about a reconciliation. I'm so glad to see you. Good to see you again, Yadi. Okay, and we have the Eight of Swords and the Two of Wands. Okay, let me just look at these for a second. Well, I think that what this shows me, and I'm going to draw a third card. Hold on, I want to draw a third card. So put it here. Put it here so y'all can see it. This does show me two different energies. The one energy is there's a sense of being trapped, okay? And most of the times when there's this trapped feeling, the person, whoever, could be you or the other, Alvaro, but there is a lot of illusion in being trapped unless you're incarcerated. I mean, if you're incarcerated, you are in a cage, okay? I mean, but still, I went to death row in Texas many, many years ago. I was part of a church ministry, and we went to death row to have services with the inmates that lived there at a ladies' prison. And it was profound to be there because these were people that were trapped. But how many times when your life gets to that desperate of a place, suddenly God becomes more real? And some people doubt it and they think, oh, yeah, everybody finds God in jail. But that's not true. Not everybody does. I do believe that you can feel freedom from any situation. What you think about, you bring about. There's always a way to see the glass half full. So this makes me wonder: is your person in how do you call it, an organically optimistic person? If the person you're with, ah, Davinia, I'm so sorry that you're going through that. So hard, isn't it? It's so hard, but part of it is just the strong confidence and belief, and that change comes out of pain, right? Change comes from pain. And some people give themselves the wrong opportunity. They're in the wrong place at the wrong time, but that pain brings change. And when we were on death row, we met and loved. I was a pen pal of one of the ladies down there that in death row. And I mean, she completely owned her crime, but she had a drug issue that was part of it. Anyway, I get distracted. We're back over to Yadi. So, Yadi, this could be like warning signs. And so, if that's the case, it could be that it's not in you guys' higher self to be together. A lot of times there's that saying, an X is an X for a reason. That's for a reason. And if there's reconciliation, I'll give you my theory on it in a second, but let's go over to the energy of that other card. Look at that, taking new steps. There's this sense of a go, right? There's a sense of making new choices. And see the globe that they're holding, see the rose that's growing from the wand. I mean, this is, I believe there's an energy of fresh starts here, and the energy of looking back. They're looking at that person, they're looking at the energy of being trapped, and they're not reaching out, they're just observing it. So I pulled this third card for you, Yadi. So let's see what this is. Again, I just sense, and it could be you, but I sense that one of the persons in this couple is what I would call a melancholy personality, always seeing the worst of things. There's something called awfulizing, where you could say, you say, well, how was your day? And the person says, oh, about killed me, right? I mean, they use very strong descriptors about any problem, tend to be like the wolf in sheep's clothing kind of people who always awfulize things. So there is this kind of pitying, self-pity sort of energy that's kind of hanging out here. So generally speaking, I would let yourself take a break from this. What you think about, you bring about. So the fact that you're thinking about a reconciliation, it may seem like, well, great, that's what I really want. And again, this is a general, it's like a spot pop-up reading for you, Yadi. So I can't dig into the cards. I'm so curious, I want to dig in and lay out like 10 cards and figure this out for you. But what I would say is just cautious, go carefully, because it does look like there's a real mismatch of energy here. And so here's what I say about reconciliation, because when I did divorce this person, I wasn't sure, that's almost 9 years ago now, I wasn't sure positive, even though the person was not behaving right. And I felt uncared for and unloved. And I couldn't wait to get out. But part of my mind was, what if, how do I know whether to cut this person off? So I got the idea to write down 3 things. And those of you who've been here with me before, you've heard this. But I forced myself to create 3 sentences, that's 3 statements, that if my ex came back and said the sentence to me, it would be my sign. I would know, yes, give this person another chance. And so the first one was this: Catherine, I've been in therapy for 6 months. And when I think about what happened that one Christmas, I'm sick about it. Can you ever forgive me? That's number one. Number two, I said to myself, um, Catherine, I found this great new massage therapist. And ever since I've started going to massage, I'm suddenly more aware of how I mistreated you when we were together. And I'm so, so sorry. There's another one. Can you hear the flavor of that? Part of me knew that they would never do it. I knew it. This person would never go to therapy. But when I said those sentences, it made it fresh for myself. So for you, Yadi, I would definitely do that. Make yourself write 3 sentences that what you only you know, right? What was the hurt? Why aren't you together? And whatever it is you need to hear. Because if you start again, you're starting from scratch. It's not picking up where you left off. No, because if you broke up, there was a reason. So whatever growing up, becoming more responsible happened, perhaps you have another chance. But if you go back to play the old game, it's not going to work. Make sense? Okay. Thank you so much. Again, if you want to reach out, please do. My um, email address is, hang on. Oh, I got questions here. Okay. Email address is tarotinfoplease@gmail.com. And I really do appreciate, and I write back to every single one of you that write to me. I love knowing what's going on for you. Okay, so let me go back. Davinia, do you want to know the energy around your son today? That the lawyer does not seem to be fighting. And Betty, I see you. Ah, okay. And by Baljing, I see you too. Okay, excellent. Okay, great, great, great. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you for hitting that thumbs up. It's just so meaningful to me. I would see here. I just want to show you over there's your chair. I would love to have you here. Wouldn't that be fabulous? Gosh, we could read your cards and then have a hug. I wish so much I could do that. Oh, before we get to you, Davinia, let's see if we can find. Oh, can't get the camera over to Murphy right now. Okay. All righty, Davinia. So we have your son. Okay, what is it? What is the yes, no, maybe so? What is it that will help Davinia? And I'm sensing 3 cards, Davinia. And I'm going to do it like last time. I kind of like that, where we'll just set the 3rd card off to the side here. And we'll just start with these 2. Okay. All right. Oh, how interesting. Wow. Okay. We have the Ace of Pentacles and the 5 of Wands. Okay. Let's see. Yes. Oops. Okay. Oopsie. Hold on. Okay. I'm just losing I was getting a message I was losing power, so I'm going to make sure. Hold on just for a second. I think I'm all plugged in and everything should be working. Let's see. Is this plugged in? Is this plugged in? Okay. We should be in good shape. Thank you for your patience. Okay. Well, I think that this absolutely shows the reality of your situation because here we have this institution up here, And I believe that that represents the institution that your son is in and the fact that it is an opportunity. And honestly, I did my card of the day yesterday. I don't know if you saw it, Davinia. Every day I do a daily card. And it was, I think it was yesterday, the day before, it was about mistakes and how mistakes are opportunities. And oh man, I've got a lot of pressure in my chest right now, on my top of my chest. And Davinia, I don't know if you're feeling that also, or it could be somebody else on the call, but just reach up and put your hand like right at the top of your chest and just press, just hold that place, Davinia. There's just a lot of energy trapped there, okay? Nobody wants to see this situation as an opportunity. Nobody, especially a mama. This does not look like an opportunity. I want you to notice that shadow on the ground behind the child. Take a breath. There's a lot of conflict going on. I mean, these cards really are telling the tale. Okay, fine, good. Let the tears come. Everybody send Davinia energy, please. And Davinia, just receive the energy and the love from everybody who's listening right now, because you deserve that. And we can't, I'm laying my hand at the top of my chest too, and everybody can join. That's just such a healing gesture. But there's that one saying, but for the grace of God go I. And when I visited on death row, that's what I mean, these were regular women, 18-year-old women in for life, 18, because they got involved with the wrong person and made a wrong choice. And it just made me think of the times that I did, drive when I had been drinking years ago. I was so lucky I got home safe. When there's people sitting in prison who were not as lucky as me, did the same thing. So I feel like we can't protect our loved ones from their mistakes, right? And we can't we can only do what our divine guidance guides us to do. So in this particular card, when you're looking at this conflict, just hold the top of your chest and keep breathing. The fact is that some of his conflict is really not yours. And for you to be able to use wise counsel, your pastor, your friends, somebody close to you, to be accountability so they can help you when you need to focus on his needs and when you need to focus on your own. Because this is showing inner conflict and lack of acceptance, which how could it not be? I mean, you're watching a terrible thing going on in your family. So let's pull in our third card here and see, isn't this beautiful? How many times, you guys, I got goosebumps. Anybody else with goosebumps? Holy moly. Davinia, this is a wonderful card for you, okay? The Hanged Man. And it really does fit for both of your situations. Your son has gotten himself hung up, hasn't he? His choices have put him in a powerless situation. But you have the choice of doing the same thing, because the Hanged Man in a personal reading is showing the choice to pause, reconsider, and regenerate yourself. Okay? And it says in here, see things in a whole new light, embracing your own uniqueness. Okay? So this card is so positive, and it shows nothing but benefit coming to everyone. Notice how the bag is emptying itself and all the tools are falling out. There's a key. Can you see the key? So your job right now, for me, meditation really helps. Listening to Louise Hay, her voice is just so magical. Wayne Dyer is another person who, I just love listening to wisdom coming from mature voices. There's something about that. And then lastly, Michael Singer. He wrote the Surrender Experiment, and he has lots of YouTubes on that you can look up. But he talks about letting go. And he has inspired me so much that in my current situation, because you know what, we're always wanting something more. We're always wanting to have more peace of mind. Some of us, it's money. Money will bring me peace of mind. Some of it, it's love. Love will bring me peace of mind. But when you don't know for sure, you have to go inside and ask your own inner being, how will I find peace of mind in this? Because chances are that some sort of charitable work, some sort of giving back, Davinia, is going to be really, really important for you. Have you ever thought of starting a group for moms of incarcerated um, children? There might be people right in your community who would love to get together to pray and inspire one another. But you'll find that your own awakening, see the angel back here? See, you're not alone. The angels have your back. Okay. So thank you, you guys. Thank you for lifting up Davinia's energy. I really, really appreciate that. Davinia, feel free to write to me. I would love to hear from you. Tarotinfo, please, at gmail.com. Sandra, welcome. Welcome, my friend. And so now we have, I'm just kind of moved by that reading, how much we all have in common. Okay. Mm-mm-mm. How much we all have in common. Let me just see. I'm going back here. So, Diolantes, do you see? Okay. So you have, oh, Betty. Oh, Betty's next. I don't want to miss Betty. Will he come back? Does he really love me? All right. Betty, does he really love me? And then we have Bailin, Baljin. And you guys know I try to get everybody on these readings for sure. Um, but sometimes it's hard just with all the people. So, okay. So we have, will Dialante follow through on the date? Okay, good. And Betty, does he love you? Okay, great. Good deal. Thank you. Thank you for those updates. Anybody else that's here? Do you want to ask a question? Go right ahead. Thank you. I'm sorry, I'm just distracted. I love y'all so much. It breaks my heart with what you're going through. It just, I'm grateful for these readings. I'm so glad we can spend time together. And those of you who come every week, oh, biggest hug to you. If I could reach around and give you a hug, I would. Okay, so Betty, does he love me? Does he love me? I'm hearing an old song in my mind. What is it? Da, 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 da. I can't remember, but I like to tell the songs because sometimes you can listen to them and be inspired. Okay, so Betty, Betty, Betty. Let's draw two cards for Betty. One in each hand here. Okay, so the sun is yes, 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 Betty. So this is kind of a mixed up energy for you because the page again is a youthful energy. So this person might be younger than you, but certainly it looks like they're less mature than you. Okay, they are eager, they love to learn, they have a playful childlike energy and they have just energies like a mile a minute. They're just got a lot going on for them. They can be a little bit perfectionistic. So even though he looks casual in this picture, and there's so many butterflies, which just shows a time of transformation. So there's a lot of change going on for your person. But I would say that this shows that, yes, there is love there for sure. But again, that's for the moment, right? Where is this going? Is this something that is a good fit for you? So, what I would say the advice would be that when you look at the mistakes that are being made, if the person has behaviors that are annoying, hey, Power, welcome. If you have, if they're to allow for the fact that this is just a person who's learning, all right? And so it does look like it's a yes for you to explore further, right? And I'm aware of this hourglass that's sitting here. and it's just starting. They just turned over the hourglass. So I just think take your time, get to enjoy this person, but this definitely looks like a positive for moving forward. Okay. Thank you for being here, Betty. You guys have questions, please feel free to ask. That's what I'm here for today, to answer your questions. Yes, no, maybe so. And next we have Baljin, who is wondering if her person, Diolente, bless him, is going to follow through on a date that's set up on Friday. So I am being led to just choose one card for you. We're just going to ask for a yes, no, maybe so right from the get-go, and this is your card. Okay. This is probably not the answer that you're wanting, my dear Baojin, because this is the maybe so button. Okay, the maybe so card, because the High Priestess is the card of your intuition. All right. Is it your highest desire to go out with this person or not? Is it just convenient? Does it make you feel good that they asked you, but actually you're not that into this person? Or do you feel this is really somebody special? This is someone who you absolutely think has potential. This card shows that only you know. Okay. And so when you're thinking about what's going to happen on Friday, I would practice your detachment skills. I would use the let it go method. You can, if you follow Neville um, or Abraham Hicks, when they talk about the art of allowing, that's when you just let go. So you have something that's planned. So right now, every time this comes to your mind, make a choice to let your inner being handle it. If that's what I believe, we are blended beings. We have a higher self, what I call my inner being. So if I'm starting to worry, what I will do is I will say, I'm going to let my inner being deal with it. And what I do, I use the song Let It Go from Frozen. And I had one of my friends tell me the other day, you're such a weirdo. I said, I know, I'm a weirdo. But that song brings me to tears, Let It Go, with Elsa singing it. But you know what I discovered? That I like to listen to it in other languages. Okay, so I've listened to it in Korean the other day. That was beautiful. Romanian, Italian, Spanish. I picked different versions of Let It Go, and they all make me cry because it's true. We can't control another person, but we can control our ability to let it go always. And because I do believe I have an inner being, I believe that there are angels and guides helping me. I will say it. I'll walk my dogs and I put on an affirmation recording in my ears and I say them out loud. It's easy for me to let go. Letting go is getting easier and easier. The more I trust my inner being, the happier I am. And you can find, in fact, if you check out the community tab on this channel, I always put my favorite manifesting. Thank you, Sandra. Wasn't it beautiful in Italian? Sandra belongs to my group on Facebook. It's called The Invisible Money Game. And you all are welcome to come join me on Facebook and Fish Out of Water Tarot on Facebook also. But my community, The Invisible Money Game, is where I share, again, techniques, because the techniques are all about finding the vortex, which, if that's unfamiliar to you with Abraham, it's that place of complete well-being and trust. That's when you're most likely to be in the right place at the right time. And you will have a luckier life for sure. But so anyway, back over to you, Baljin. So do some work, do some inner work here and lean on your intuition. Is this the right person for you? It might be that you're not going to be sure until closer to the date, but it's great practice for letting go. Okay. And I know maybes are not fun to get from the universe, are they? But they're important because we don't want to give anyone else more power than you have over your own life. Okay, so let's go back here. And who else has a question for me? Okay, Sandra, Looks like you're the next person with a question. Zanib or Zainab, I'm so sorry with these names, and Fila and Power, if you have a question. Okay. Okay, so does he have feelings for me? All right, let's check it out. Let's check it out. And I'm sensing one card here. And this one is calling. Okay. I'm sorry, I got distracted. Okay, Sandra. And you have the Hermit. Okay. Does he have feelings for you? Okay. When I look at this, Sandra, let me tell you what draws my attention. See that little tiny fire? It's just so tiny. And you know what that wants me to ask? Do you have feelings for him? Or are you settling? Sometimes when you're coming out of hermit mode, general reading, I can do a one card pull and just see. I'll do that, Power, without a question. But Sandra, so this shows me that you're kind of thinking, I hope he has feelings for me, but I don't know that your truest heart desires that. When you look at the hermit, that light that the hermit carries, that's the star. That's the star card. And so I look at all the colors that are radiating from that star card. And I just, from the lantern here. And I feel like the message is to just keep working on your own vibration, working on your own confidence, raising your sense of personal magnetism. And that comes from tapping. I do have a tapping experiment that's going on in my group on Facebook. I think you're in that group. But tapping is what I use. I use meditation, I use tapping, I use lots of tools. The book Ask and It Is Given by Abraham Hicks. I think that's one of the very first ones they wrote. It's filled with processes and activities to continue connecting you to your inner being. The more connected you are to your higher self, the easier it's going to be in love with somebody. But right now, I just see this as there's a limitation here. It's such a tiny fire compared to the size of this figure. So I just feel like this current person is there, gets your attention, wakes up your desires. It creates the plan, right? A plan for you to move forward. But it does seem like this would be a no as far as permanent. Okay. Okay, any other? Power wants to have a card pulled just for general energy. So let's see what general energy is here for Power. I'm going to be here for a few more minutes, everyone. So if anybody else has a question, please ask. I would love to answer for you. Okay, Power, we are looking at this King of Pentacles. So I'm sensing a little bit of, I'm going to say this, is that all there is? Energy around you, Power. I feel like, in a way, there's a level of satisfaction going on in your life, and that some people would be envious, And some people see you as very successful, that they look at you, they don't know all the facts, but from what they see, they're seeing this as satisfactory energy. However, what I'm seeing in it is just notice his hands. So it makes me think that there may be a hobby or something that you can do with your hands. A lot of people get so much pleasure out of gardening or building things, having their hands dirty, so to speak. So there's just this itchy energy, like, is that all there is? What's next? So I feel like there's opportunity that's going to be knocking, and that it's important that you pay attention for signs. Also, I would suggest for you to take a look at The Power of Intention by Wayne Dyer. There's something in your intentions, I think, that could really be important for you for the next cycle here. Okay, so there you have it. Anybody else with a question for me while I'm still here? I've got a few more minutes. I would love to be able to answer questions. Yes, no, maybe so. Whatever your answer is, know that you're loved. Know that you're just in the middle of your story. Another chapter's waiting to be written. One of the things that Dr. Dyer was talking about in one of the recordings, because I listen when I walk my dogs, and I love so much to connect with people that are passed away, right? But they're right here for us. Shantanu, Good University. And one of the things that Dr. Dyer was talking about was that the body that you're in right now, however old you are right now, you used to be 5 years old. Okay, so you used to be in a body that was 5 years old. You had 5-year-old bones that were short, right? And you had so many, your stature, you're only so high. Your body was a miniature version of what it is now. And that 5-year-old had to die in a way. All those cells that were the 5-year-old body then have passed on, and now you are living in a brand new body. And in a way, it's like 50,000 cells. I don't know the numbers, but so many cells reproduce and exchange themselves. We are constantly changing cellular structure. Like my bones now at 5'4 3/4" are different bones than the bones I had when I was only 3 feet tall. I love listening to Dr. Dyer. He brings me a lot of peace. And so that's why I recommend. So Shantanu wants to have cards about studying abroad. So yes, first and foremost, there are wonderful universities all over the planet, and there are many that are not famous. And so picking your ideal university is more than how famous it is or how important it is. Picking your university is about the connections that you'll make that are going to change the rest of your life. All right. So that's a big deal. So let's draw 3 cards for Shana Tuno. I wish I could pronounce the names better. I'm sorry. I'll just say Shan, if that's okay. We're going to pick 3 cards. And I'm going to leave one over here for us. Okay. All righty. Oh my goodness, there's a lot of energy going on here with this situation. So the very first thing that makes me wonder, Sean, is how does your family feel about you studying abroad? And are you going through any conflict around this decision? Because this is hard for parents. It really is. My kids are grown. They're not in college age anymore, but when they do move away, it changes everything. And you do have to, as the mom and the dad, you have to adjust everything, your communication, the amount of time your eyeballs get to see your child. There's a lot of things that even though you know that your child is going towards something very positive, it's still scary and you miss them. So and it feels like you are very sensitive, Sean, and that that your family's very important to you, but you're sensing this desire to have experienced this freedom of being in a different country to study, and how the doors will be open for you in the future. So I would say that right now it's important that you have counsel. So whether it's another relative, like an aunt or an uncle or a pastor, it could be a counselor. If there's somebody that you could talk to, a guidance counselor, just for the moral support, just to feel confident that you have all the power you need to connect to the right university, to the right advanced study. You may feel like you're sneaking around, like um, that you're stealing some peace of mind from your family. And that's something that is important for you to realize if that's true for you. You're not stealing anybody's peace of mind with your choices. Everyone is responsible for their own choice, or excuse me, their own reaction to your choice. But it's just to walk slowly, mindfully, carefully, and lovingly as you go towards your future. And be sure to take advantage of any mentoring or help you can do to choose the right school. And then here's our bonus card. And it is, I love this. I'm so glad for this, because what it shows is that you're coming into a light, you're coming into more clarity about this. You're coming to the end of some sort of conflict. So I'm grateful for you. It is a relief to know that you're getting the guidance that you need to go through this journey. Okay. I would definitely look up the spiritual meaning of swan, because anytime an animal, excuse me, let me grab some of my water. Hold on. So whenever my throat gets weird, I always have to reflect on the throat chakra and the importance of speaking your truth, because my throat was just feeling scratchy and I was losing my voice. And that always happens to me when I am doing a reading, if somebody has trouble telling their truth. So again, when you say your truth lovingly and respectfully, you will be respected, Sean. It's just be mindful, set your intentions, get the counsel that'll help you know that you're making the best decision for you. Any kind of career guidance, career counseling, you might want to Google that. There might be something online that you could join, even with a Zoom call, to help you build the confidence to walk forward into the next chapter of your life. Okay. But basically, though, it's showing to me that you have such high regard for everyone in this decision, and that you may be putting a little too much pressure on yourself. And that's why I feel like asking for help from people that are older and wiser is really going to help you. Okay? So I'm so glad to have you. I love when young people are here, and I love when y'all are interested in the cards, because um, we share that. I love the cards so much. I love the art. So I'm just getting ready to close. If there's anybody else that wants a quick question answered before we close, it looks like we don't. And I have Murphy wanting to go for a walk, so he's saying, could we be finished now? So let me just grab a card. You're welcome, Sean, my darling. Anybody wants to write to me, please do. Contact information is in the description box. You can email me at tarotinfo@gmail.com. Thank you for hitting the thumbs up. It means so much to me. I feel the connection. I can feel the love. Murphy too. And so just pulling a card for our final card here, the Page of Cups. Excuse me. And so, sorry about that. So this, to me, I believe the universe is calling all of us to open our hearts. That there's a chance that taking a decision is going to put us into harm's way. We may make a decision that is a mistake. In a year, we may look back and go, why did I do that? But remember, mistakes are opportunities. Sitting frozen at home and not taking a chance is not the way to live. Taking a risk, open yourself, be inexperienced, take a dance class, take an art class, take a writing class. There's so many things you can do online for nothing. Just Google it up, free writing class or free art class, and somebody's offering it. Put yourself into an awkward new learning position. It will really pay off for you. Okay, so thank you for being here with me this morning. We'll see you next week at around the same time, 10 o'clock-ish Central Time. This is Catherine, Fish Out of Water Tarot, signing out for our tarot party. Thank you so much for visiting me, and I will see you at our next reading. Take care now. Bye. Murphy, you want to say goodbye? Say bye, everybody. Is it my turn now? Yes, it's your turn now. Bye.